Good day. I am Manuel A. Ferranco, here to present to you the hazard map of Barangay Old Saniga. Let's begin. First, this is the 10-kilometer radius from our house rather. The second part is I'll be discussing about the legends. The first, the first legend is the rectangular shape which symbolizes landslide. The second is the circle shape which symbolizes flood. The third is the diamond shape which symbolizes fire. The fourth is the cross shape which symbolizes the safe zones. The fifth is the lightning shape which symbolizes storm surge. And the sixth and the last is the curve shape which symbolizes rivers. This is the hazard map I have made on our barangay. As you can see, there are lots of flood-prone areas in our barangay, which means that our barangay is prone to flooding. There are four circular shapes which symbolizes flood, and there are two, what do you call this, diamond shapes which symbolizes fire. But there are no fire histories in our barangay. It's just that I assume that those are the fire-prone areas because the houses are compressed or compact, and there are lots of people on those areas. That is why I think that those areas are fire prone. There's one curved shape which symbolizes the river, and there are two cross shapes which symbolizes the safe zones. These are the flood prone areas. And these are the fire prone areas. These are the safe zones. And this is the factor analysis I have made. Types of hazards: flood, typhoon, and fire. Frequency. In our barangay, every time there's a typhoon or heavy rainfall, there's a flood. Because just like what you saw on the hazard map I made, there are lots of flood-prone areas and that our barangay is prone to flooding. And typhoon is frequent for like every month or every rainy seasons. And in fire, there are no history of fire in our barangay, so I don't really know the frequency. Duration. Flood the flooding in our barangay may take up to 3 hours, but the one near the river may take up to 12 to 24 hours. And typhoon may take up to 12 or 1 to 2 days. And in fire, just like what I've said earlier, there are no history of fire on our barangay. Speed on test. In flooding, there are 6 hours of heavy rainfalls. If the yeah, I mean, in typhoon, there are 24 to 48 hours, and the fire is not applicable. Intensity or magnitude. The one, or if the rain is heavy or the typhoon is heavy, the flood may take up to above the knee. And the typhoon are signals 1 to 4. And the fires, we don't have any history of fire. The probability of having flood on our barangay is high because just like what I've said earlier, our barangay is prone to flooding. And typhoon, there's a high chance of typhoon. With the fire, just like what I've said earlier, I am only assuming the probability of having fire on our barangay because there's a lot of people on those areas and compact houses. But I'll say that there's 50% chance of probability of having fire on our barangay. Forewarning, heavy rainfall or typhoon. Uh, and the typhoon may be forecast or been televised on TV shows and on the news. Forewarning on fire may be seen if there are lots of black smoke or fire on a specific area and if there's a fire truck, the wailing of the fire truck or the sirens. Manageability. Flooding on our barangay is easy to manage because, just like what I've said earlier, there are lots of flood-prone areas on our barangay. And the probability of flooding on our barangay is pretty high. That is why the people may have adapted because how often it floods. Second is typhoon. Typhoon is easy to manage, especially when you are prepared. The last one is fire. Just like what I've said earlier, our barangay doesn't have any history of fire. That is why I think that it will be hard for us to manage if there are fire because the people may panic and that will cause chaos or stampede, making it hard to manage. Those are the hazard map and the factor analysis of Barangay Olzanilla. Thank you for listening.